What's up, guys? I'm Matt.
I'm Andy.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we wanted to make this video really quick just to tell you about something cool that we just finished up doing. We got to sit on a retailer call with the great Mark Waid, talking a little bit about the Absolute Power event. It's going to be starting in June. We got some cool information, a few things that we can't really talk about, but I will say that we are already even more excited for this event than we were before, and we were already excited for this quite a bit.
Yeah, we got to see some images that have not been released yet. We even had a Q&A with Mark Waid where we got to ask whatever questions we want.
Yeah.
Some were about Absolute Power, a lot of them were about World's Finest and how much we love it.
Sure.
But we wanted to come on here and talk just a little bit about what we learned so you can get as hyped as we are. So we can go through some of the notes we took while we were doing it.
Yeah.
I think there was some really important stuff that they clarified in this. So one of the big things I really liked was, we've got the main series, and there's some mini series, but Mark Waid was very specific to talk about that he doesn't like what he calls the Red Sky events or the tie-ins just so you can have a banner at the top that says it ties in.
Right.
But then you read it, you're like, oh, that didn't have anything to do with it. He doesn't like those. He likes the ones that actually, have its own goal within the overall thing. And that's what he talked about. A lot of these books, the tie-ins will be specific characters on missions that kind of further the Absolute Power story.
Yeah, and to clarify the structure, we're going to have the 4-issue main Absolute Power, the main series. There will be an Absolute Power Task Force 7-issue series that is a tie-in. There's the 3-issue Absolute Power Origins series, which is going to basically be the evergreen Amanda Waller origin story.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there will be 3 issues of Superman, 3 issues of Batman, 3 issues of Wonder Woman that also deal with this. But that's it. I mean, they showed a checklist that there's a few other little, maybe like single issues of like Green Arrow or something.
We have the Ground Zero issue coming out that's going to kick it all off.
Yeah.
But that's just going to be kind of a lead-in, like if you're maybe reading Superman but not reading Batman, it'll catch you up with who Failsafe is over in Batman, who the Queen Brainiac is, some stuff about Amanda Waller, just kind of getting everyone on the same page going forward.
Yeah, and one thing that got me excited is he said, Ground Zero, the Ground Zero issue that's on FOC this weekend, that's kind of your setup issue, because by the time we get to Absolute Power #1, he said we hit the ground running. There's not a lot of setup there. Like, we are already, from the go, the heroes are already going to be sort of on their back foot by the time we get to that first issue. So, there's a lot of first issues that come out that is setting up the story, but this first issue of this everything will have already been set up, and we're just going to hit the ground running.
Yeah, that was super cool. Other thing he talked about is characters he's going to be using. And, we've seen, a lot of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Then we've seen kind of the Justice League that's been depowered to some extent. That has kind of your Green Lantern, your Aquaman, Flash, all of them. But then he talked about there's even more characters that he loves to get to write, bringing in some of the JSA that's going to be in this. So specifically naming Dr. Midnight is going to play a big role in this. So I'm very excited about the other characters that we haven't seen as much of lately, but are going to play a big role in this.
Yeah, and also Green Arrow and Dreamer playing big roles as well. And we've seen that in the Suicide Squad Dream Team. Dreamer's been a big part of that. And then the Green Arrow series, there's been bits and pieces of that featuring Amanda Waller, so that just makes sense as well.
Yeah, I'm excited that you talked about the Wonder Woman storyline. It's going to be Wonder Woman and Damian teamed up for those 3 issues. And that's just a team up you don't see. So I'm excited to see what their part in the mission is. All of that sounds really, really cool. The other thing I want to mention is, so we know we've got the Task Force 7. And someone even asked, like, what makes these villains different than all the other kind of anti-Justice Leagues they faced? And specifically, they each kind of have specific personalities that, like, we haven't seen before, that come from them being Amazo related and kind of absorbing different characters and how that like reflects in how their personality is, much like how Failsafe has been that way with Batman.
Yeah, because they clarified for us that each issue of this Task Force seven issue series, each one of those is going to focus on a different Amazo robot who has absorbed the abilities of each Justice League member. And we know from the solicitations in issue 3, I can't remember the name, but it's the one that focuses on the robot that absorbed Green Lantern's powers.
Yeah.
But it takes on his will and starts to question, hey, are we should we be doing this? So that kind of stuff is really interesting.
Yeah, that's super cool. Just some of the other things that were, I don't want to say teased, but there were questions brought up about Mark Waid's involvement in everything post Absolute Power, and I was just really happy to hear that he said he's going to be involved in a lot, and we'll probably know around next month how much that will be, which I'm guessing he's speaking around San Diego Comic-Con,
Right.
and maybe a little bit before.
I think DC's doing something near the end of June as well
Yeah.
that we might get some stuff on.
So, if you're a fan of Mark Waid and a fan of World's Finest, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He said you have to pry World's Finest out of his cold, dead hands.
Yeah, he said it's the most fun that he's had in years writing stuff.
And Dan Mora is the key to that series. So I thought that was awesome because we're big World's Finest fans. That is continuing on, for as long as we can imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. So not to jump around too much, but we've just got some notes here. We're still like processing it all. But one thing that I thought was really cool is he said that this event does impact the entire DC universe. That at the end of it all, and obviously they didn't tell us what's going to happen. He said that there will be 2 specific things coming out of this event. One's good for the heroes. One is bad for them. Hasn't been announced yet, so we don't know what that is. But the larger point that he was driving home there is, he said with a lot of events, the thing happens and then you put all the toys back in the toy box,
Yeah, he said it was like a wedding dress event where you have this really elegant big thing and then after it's over you just put it in the closet and it's like, well, you never pull it out again.
Right.
But that he likes these events that actually do make a difference.
Yeah, so we don't know what. We have no idea what, but it sounds like this will have some kind of lasting impact. We'll just have to wait and see what that is, though.
We've kind of talked about it a little bit on our shows. We've had many weeks where it's like, not a lot of DC this week, but they kind of, without saying it, said, back half of this year, fall, it's going to be very big for DC.
Yep.
That there is going to be a lot more ongoing titles starting. So a lot of stuff to really get excited about that I feel like is all spinning out of Absolute Power.
Yeah, he said lots of new ongoing series that spin out of this. Some that we've been waiting for, some we won't expect. So, and we have been, speculating just kind of amongst ourselves for the longest time now that this first half of the year has been the calm before the storm for DC, that the back half of 2024 is going to be big for DC, and I really feel like that's true, especially after hearing this. So if you're chomping at the bit for some more DC, you're wanting some new stuff or whatever, just be a little bit more patient. I think we're going to get it in the coming months for sure.
Other really exciting thing, issue 2, we've seen the cover for, where there's a mystery character that kind of becomes an adversary in this. And they would not tell us who this character was.
Yeah, we don't know.
But they said you'll be very surprised, which I think is really cool. And then issue 3, he said, because someone even asked, is there any like speculators, any big first appearances? He said issue 3 will have people talking.
We said issue four will be, because somebody asked about, is there anything that we can let the speculators know about? And he said issue four will have people talking. We have no idea what it is, but so that's if you like to collect big things like that, keep an eye out for that.
Well, I think that gives credibility to just like the importance of the series is like, yes, there are going to be lasting effects. If it's going to be a first appearance or maybe a death or something like that, it's something that will last longer than just this event. Yeah. So I don't have too many other big things that I listed, but it was a great talk. I loved the Q&A where people, all the retailers were saying how much they love World's Finest, how they love kind of the direction DC has going right now. Little side notes of like, they asked, did retailers like hardcovers coming out first or soft covers of series? Yeah. And unanimously people said soft covers
first. Yeah.
So, that, whether you buy collections or not, what I liked about that was it's that they listen to the retailers. Like people were saying things in the comments, they're responding to them. They seem to really like have that connection with the retailers. This is the first retailer call we've done in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it just assured me that DC is definitely listening to retailers and has their best interest in mind.
Yeah. And he did say, just real quick, he said that there's some exciting news to come with Action Comics.
Yeah.
No idea what it is, but because somebody asked if Action Comics will be impacted by this since the Superman title is going to tie in a little bit. And he said Action Comics won't really be because there's going to, Gail Simone is telling a story that's set like in the early days of Superman while this is going on. But after that, he said there's some more exciting stuff. So we'll have to wait and see what that is. But this was very exciting. Like I am so excited for what DC is doing, what they're bringing to the table, what we might get later, which we're still guessing about right now. But it was a very awesome call, and I can't wait to see what all this is.
Yeah, and a big note is your orders for Absolute Power Ground Zero are due by this weekend. We'll be talking about it again on our Comics from the Future show to give you your last chance to order it because I think this is going to be really big. And a big thanks to Albert Ching, who was the kind of MC of this, along with Mark Waid and various other people who work at DC. I thought it was awesome. I hope they keep doing this for a lot of things, and we'll keep bringing you all of the good news
absolutely
as it comes. So thank you so much for watching, and
until tomorrow.
Until tomorrow, or if you're watching this tomorrow,
until today.
We'll see you in a couple minutes. See you.
See you guys.